This is the Midday Market Report for Thursday on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by Burwell Livestock Market. I'm Riley Smith. On the phone right now with Amanda Brill of Total Farm Marketing as we take a look at the midday markets. Amanda, there's a lot of red on the grain screen here at midday. I know that a meeting between President Trump and then Chinese President Xi Jinping still going on. Haven't heard much about agriculture, so what's weighing in on the grain markets here at midday?
Yeah, we've got July corn down 14 cents at 466. July soybeans are down 44 cents at 11.85. Wheat's down 21 at 6.54. So like you said, a lot of red on the screen. But if we zoom out a little bit, we've been buying into this market up until this report. It does feel like a buy the rumor, sell the facts situation, now, especially now that we have the WASDE report out of the way. And they have been meeting. They've been talking about things. The key thing is that they have not really spoken very much about agriculture or a potential trade deal that would incorporate corn and soybeans. They are still meeting, so that could come later, but I think the fact that they haven't really brought it up has spurred the sell-off in a way. And again, we have the WASDE out of the way. It was friendly for soybeans, a little bit bearish for corn, but once we kind of have these pieces of news out there, I think the market is prone to kind of come back down to earth. And if we really look at things, corn is now where it was a week and a half ago, and soybeans, same thing. This is just the level we were at last week, so it feels like a huge move, but we're really just kind of moving back into the range that we were in before.
And then with that House passage of year-round E15, obviously still needs to get through the Senate before it gets to the president's desk. Have heard a lot of optimism about it getting through there and finally becoming law. But when we look at that announcement weighing in on the ag marketplace, right now for corn, would that be just kind of preventing losses from being greater than they are? Or do we think it's actually maybe something that's kind of factored in already?
I think a lot of it is priced in. I definitely think it's going to be supportive in the long run for corn. We needed that demand driver. But I think it's like you said, I think it's priced in. We had moved out quite a bit in the last week. This China news is kind of dominating everything. And it was narrow. It passed 218 to 203, so it was a little bit narrow. And then the Senate, it should get through. I'm sure it will, but it's not a given yet. And I did see an article yesterday I thought was interesting from the Soybean Association. They think that this being passed could be a little bit negative for the soybean market. So I was kind of wondering about that as well. So more demand for ethanol and maybe a little bit less for soybean oil was their reasoning.
And then over on the livestock side of things, what do we see in the cattle and hogs here at midday?
So both the fats and the feeders are higher. We've got August live cattle up $1.97. They're at 248. I guess I should say the front month, June, is at 253, which we're going to have to watch that because the cash bids might be quite a bit higher, and I've seen some bids yesterday, 263 to 265. If that's the case, then we might be undervalued on the futures, and we might see them move higher yet. The feeder cattle, August is up 265 at 363.57. I'm going to attribute a lot of that to the move lower in corn. Whenever we have a big move lower in the grains, it's usually beneficial to the feeder market. And then the June hogs are down $1.17. They're at 99.70. Technically, they look like they're forming a bottom. The stochastics were oversold. They crossed over. Maybe we look for the June hogs to get back to that 105 level. That's where the 100-day moving average is. So we'll just have to watch that.
All right, Amanda, a lot of great information today. For anybody who would like to stay in touch with Total Farm Marketing, how can they do that?
Best way is just to give us a call. Our number is 800-334-9779.
Burwell Livestock Market in Burwell, Nebraska, Friday, May 15th will be a special cattle auction. We start at 11:30 on a regular auction. We have first calf heifer pairs on the video, first calf heifer pairs live at the barn, cow-calf pairs, bred fall cows, fall calves, and feeders. That's at the Burwell Livestock Market in Burwell, Nebraska, Friday, May 15th, special cattle auction, 11:30 on a regular auction. You can view our complete listings at burrelllivestock.com. You can view and bid online at DV Auction or Cattle USA, or give us a call here at the auction market.
At midday, July corn down 14.5 at 466 and a quarter. December new crop down 13 and a quarter at 489 and 3/4. July soybeans down 44 and a quarter at 1184 and 3/4. November new crop down 32 even at 1175 and 3/4. July soybean meal down 770 at 330.80. July soybean oil down 97 cents at 73.35. Chicago wheat down 21 and 3/4 at 653 and 3/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat down 22.5 at 702 and a quarter. Minneapolis spring wheat down 17 even at 702 and 3/4. July oats down 7 and a quarter at 360 even. On the Merc, June live cattle up 82 cents at 253.62. May feeders up 212 at 369.45. June lean hogs down $1.10 at 99.77. Pork cutout went unchanged at 114.47. And May Class 3 milk down 6 cents at midday at 17.03. And that's been a check of the midday markets here on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith reporting.